Hello, everyone, and from my hotel room in Bangkok, Thailand, staring out the window, admiring the amazing sunset that has just passed. Welcome to the intro episode of Sailing with Sof, a podcast where I, Sofia, or Sof, take you along my adventures as a college student living and studying on a ship for about 4 months. And during this time, my shipmates and I will be visiting 10 countries and 3 continents. Crazy, that's all I can say. Anyways, in this episode, you'll get to learn more about what exactly I'll be doing, who I am, and what my podcast might look like. So, yes, you heard me correctly. I'll be on a ship for college, traveling the world, and I actually receive credit for this. How am I doing this, you ask? Well, there's a study abroad program, called Semester at Sea, and an organization called the Institute of Shipboard Education. And somehow they make this work. And to my surprise, this has been a thing since 1963. Wow, a long time ago. The Institute of Shipboard Education, from my understanding, they're essentially the head of everything, and they formed, in my opinion, what has to be the most coolest study abroad program ever. So all I know is that this sounds like a dream. So of course, I really want to document my experience as much as I can, so that's why you're listening to me. And maybe along the way I can help out a future voyager or simply entertain anyone who is curious about the experience I will be going through. And also, I suppose I'm doing this just so my family knows I'm alive. I actually remember watching someone on YouTube go through this semester at sea experience when I think I was like a freshman in high school, but I knew I could never actually do it and it never crossed my mind. And Semester at Sea actually has a series out on Amazon Prime where someone went through a day in the life of like 10 different people on the ship, I believe. And I remember watching that. It came out in 2022, so it must have been my first year of college. But I knew that there was no chance I could go. So I truly cannot believe that I'm doing this right now. Or will be going on Semester at Sea. Tomorrow, by the way. So I'm very excited. You have no idea. Like I said, never in a million years did I think I would actually do this, which makes me even more grateful for this very unique and literally once in a lifetime experience opportunity. But here we are. I hope to share just a little bit of my thoughts and experiences with you with this podcast platform, Sailing with Sof. So if you're interested, hopefully you'll stick along. I really have to create something catchy. I was thinking, come sail with me, sail along with Sof. But if anyone has any ideas, if you're watching, feel free to let me know. Now, I'll just give you a quick overview of Semester at Sea because I feel like that's important because that's the program I'll be doing, and that's the whole reason for this podcast. So, Semester at Sea, it's a study abroad program, like I said, and there are typically around 500 students on the ship, a combination of undergrads, graduates, and gap year students out of high school. But the large majority consists of undergrads in college, which is what I am. But that is actually not all. Besides the students, of course you can't forget all the faculty and staff, which apparently is around 65 people in total. But one cool thing that I find very unique about Semester at Sea is that there's a group of voyagers categorized or called, quote, lifelong learners, and these are people who are over the age of 29 or 30 and above, and they can literally sail for the entire voyage or for just a few weeks. Honestly, I would love to do that when I'm older, if I have the money, and go through the experience again, because that would just be amazing. And even if I have a family then, that would be even cooler, going through the experience again, because Semester at Sea, I'm sure will be running still by that time. Oh, and the cool thing is, speaking of families, people have their kids on the ship. That's another very cool part. Hopefully, I think I heard there's a program where you can like be adopted by a family on the ship, which is always cool. Kind of like having a host family in a typical study abroad program in one country. That may be the equivalent here, but who knows? I definitely want to do that because that would be cool. Anyways, I know there's around 15 of these lifelong voyagers, so not a big number at all. Oh, so by the way, the stats I'm getting, all these numbers, I'm basing them off of some stats I read on the spring voyage of 2023, so a year ago, because I'll be on the spring 2024 voyage. So, me and all my shipmates that I have yet to meet will be embarking on this journey for about 4 months, just under 4 months. It's, to be exact, 107 days. And I have classes on the ship, or we have classes on the ship. And once we arrive in port, we're free to explore the country, pretty much do whatever we want, go wherever we want. And there aren't any class commitments, although there is an exception to this, something called a field class, but that's insignificant compared to all your time in port because I believe it's only 3 days of this. A lot of traveling and planning to do, which I really have to figure out my top 5 to 10 things to do for each country because there's so much to do, but so much you cannot do. So now that you know a bit more about the experience that I'm about to go on, I think it makes sense for you to get to know me a little better and for me to tell you what my future episodes might be about or will be about. We shall see. So first, again, my name is Sofia. You can also call me Sof, hence Sailing with Sof. It just sounded better compared to Sailing with Sofia, too long. Sailing with Sof. I'm 20 years old, in college, currently a sophomore. I'm from a small town in New York, but my family actually recently moved to Virginia, right near DC, so that's where I am now, and I like it. As for traveling experiences, which I feel is very important to discuss, because, this is the whole travel adventure here, I truly never really traveled much, really because I played sports, mainly basketball and tennis, which I still love, even though my tennis game has taken a complete spiral. It's really sad. Yeah, but in my opinion, I never considered myself a traveler, or I really never traveled much. Of course, we did go on some family vacations, but honestly, I can't even remember them because I was so young and I don't think my memory is so good. Went to Cancun, Mexico, typical vacation. Of course, those are always so fun, especially when it's an all-inclusive resort. All the pina coladas, delicious. Oh my god, I would get so many. But besides that, never experiencing anything local, never actually diving into learning about different cultures, people, all of that. Never really experienced until summer of 2023. Prior to that, I would say Sofia could be called the non-traveler, non-world explorer. This all changed in the summer of 2023. I had some unexpected changes which opened me up to new opportunities and new things to explore. So actually in the summer of 2023, in July? Yeah, July to August. I went to Ecuador in a very small beach town where I was a volunteer English teacher. And this was actually the first time I volunteered internationally. But first time I traveled all by myself internationally. And it ended up being the absolute best time. I lived in a volunteer house, met some amazing, amazing people, both volunteers and locals. And it was just one of the highlights of my summer for sure. Anyway, so after the summertime, a few months later, I was actually able to go to Mexico in Merida. Gotta do that Spanish accent. And I was, again, an English teacher volunteer, and I traveled by myself internationally, so this would be my second time international travel. So I do have, I guess, a little bit of experience traveling by myself. Personally, I like traveling by myself because you don't really have to worry about others, and you can typically do what you want to do, which is very nice. And so that was the international travel. As far as domestic travel, like in the US, the first time I traveled by myself for the first time, actually towards COVID, it was probably, maybe April 2021, because COVID was still going on. But anyways, I visited my brother who lives in Las Vegas, and I flew from New York to Las Vegas. That was my first time by myself in a plane. But then, obviously, I lived with him for a little bit. So other than that, then mainly just going to a few different states or cities for basketball tournaments, things like that. A little bit for tennis. But that has been the gist of my travel. And college visits. But nothing where I could actually focus on immersing myself in the culture and learning. So I'm very excited for semester at sea. Now, you also may be wondering, I thought you're in school. How the heck could I do like this experience? Oh, did I even tell you? I did the Mexico thing. That was in like November, December. Yeah, so how did I do that if I am in school? Well, to answer that question, I actually took a gap semester in the fall, this past fall, so September to December, which was another thing I never thought I would do, and it was actually quite last minute, but it really turned out to be one of the best decisions ever. So for timeline context, I went to Mexico towards the end of my gap semester. Yep, November, December, as I said before. And the reason I took a gap semester was for another opportunity that was in New York City that began in September. But I was super glad I was able to do the volunteer again because that was so much fun. I was actually planning on going back to Ecuador, but then they shut down the program. So I was very, very sad about that. But that's okay. I met some nice people in Merida. So also, bottom line is that life certainly does not go to plan, but I'm sure y'all know that, and I never thought I would be where I am right now in life, but gotta say, I love it, and I have been totally embracing the unknown. Now, as for the episodes and layout of my show, I'll be seeing how this experience goes and kind of playing it by ear. I hope to keep you updated on things like ship life for sure. I mean, that's a big part of this experience. I've never been on a ship before. Seasickness, I'm not so sure what to think of that because, like, I remember going on family vacation to Cancun, then my dad would go or do a little sailboat, and I never had any problems with that. But then when I went to Ecuador, I went on some type of boat. I don't know what it's called, but it was bigger than, the tiny sailboat. And that was like my first time kind of feeling a little nauseous, but then I don't think I ate enough that day. So I hope that's the reason. But again, you were much closer to the water compared to this new ship I'll be living on. So I really don't know what to think about the seasickness thing. We shall see, though. Hopefully it will not be a problem. Besides ship life and all that, I would love to bring on some guests. It would be cool if I could get like a chef or something. Of course, different students. A faculty member would be pretty cool. Let's see if I can get out of my comfort zone to do that. And yeah, just a whole bunch of people would be cool. Hopefully my roommate. Or just chatting episodes one-on-one. If I'm lucky, I would love to have like some special episodes devoted to reporting a certain aspect of a country that we visit. I'm very interested in doing that. I have to see how it works out, all of that. But as you can tell, I have no idea how this semester at sea experience is going to go. But you'll certainly be along for the ride because, I plan on uploading these as soon as I make them, within a week or so, also depending on Wi-Fi. Just, I really wanted to make a podcast opposed to another media platform because I find it much more intimate, and social media generally is not intimate, not really genuine. So personally, I think podcasts have the opportunity to be very real, natural, so I'm a fan of that, and I love listening to podcasts, especially interview podcasts or just if I'm cleaning my room, running errands, multitasking with podcasts. I think they're very fun to listen to. Okay, so let's transition a little and we'll talk about where I'll be going for this semester at sea voyage. It's voyage number 133, by the way, 133. And I actually love the number of the voyage because number 33, it's a good number. Also, it was my number, I believe, my senior year of high school. I always got unlucky with number picks. But I developed a liking towards 33 because I like the double digits, and it's also Larry Bird's number, so can't go wrong with that. 33 is just threes. Yeah, 33, it gives me good vibes. Hopefully that is right. For the locations, we'll be going to Thailand. That's where we embark the ship. Or I'll read the locations then, do a little rundown if I can. So Thailand, Malaysia, India, Kenya, Mauritius, South Africa, Ghana, Morocco, Portugal, and Germany. Let me read that again. Thailand, so that's where we're embarking the ship. I'm currently in Bangkok, Thailand right now, which is insane to say. Can't believe it. Malaysia, India, visiting the Taj Mahal for that one, so that'll be super, super cool. Kenya, I really would love to do a safari. Oh, that would be so nice. And I really want to see the Maasai tribe, if that's how you pronounce it correctly. A reporting episode on that would be pretty cool, but I'm not sure how that would work out. Next up is Mauritius, which I'll be honest, I never heard of Mauritius before a semester at sea. But certainly a lot of ocean activities when I'm there would be super cool. Maybe like snorkeling, something like that. Anyways, next up, South Africa. Oh, Cape Town, that's where we're docking at. And I have heard great things about Cape Town. Ghana, I'm very excited for Ghana. It would be cool. I really want to do the English volunteer there. And actually, wait, in Ghana, once we leave Ghana, we're on like a long 8-day, 10-day stretch at sea. And I actually celebrate my birthday on the ship, my 21st birthday. So I'm very excited for that. I hear they have great ice cream cake, and I love ice cream cake, so I'm very excited. We'll see how that goes. And that'll be another episode I could do, birthday on the ship. That could be cool. Watch it be like no, of course it'll be nice. Okay, next up again, Morocco. It would be cool to do like a camel ride on the desert. So many things to do. I really have to plan out. I don't know if I said this, but I really need to plan out, like, it was recommended to do 5 to 10 activities for each country you go to, because obviously there's so much to do, but I mean very little time, so you want to prioritize your top picks and see what you can do. So after Morocco, Portugal, our stop is Oporto, I believe Oporto, Portugal, I believe. And then we finish off and disembark in Germany. Very, very sad. Yeah, I'm already gonna get tears in my eyes. Continent-wise, we start out in Asia, go to Africa, and then finish off in Europe. And I've never been to any of these continents, by the way. Oh yeah, I also should have said, so obviously been to North America. Oh, country-wise, so of course the United States. I've been to Canada, Mexico, then where else? Oh, I went to Dominican Republic for a family wedding. Then where else? Oh yeah, then Ecuador was my first time in South America. I forget the total counts, but I'll add it up after I finish this episode. But we're gonna add to my country list, and of course my continent list as well, because now I can say I've been to Asia, which I want to explore Bangkok so bad. I hope to come here because I've only been here for a few days, but it really seems like such a nice city. The people are so friendly, it's crazy. Maybe it's just the hotel I'm at. My hotel is the nicest place I've ever stayed at, and the food is so good. Oh my goodness. And the amenities are just incredible. I really hope to come back. We'll see what happens though. So anyways, start out in Asia, Africa, Europe. Asia, Africa, Europe, if you can get the vision in your head. I mean, this really tests out my geography skills, by the way, so at least I can improve that. And I can learn officially the ocean names, different countries. They say the world is your campus. Is that their saying or something? Which is so true. Experiential learning at its finest, and that honestly has got to be the best type of learning, right? Oh, also fun fact, I don't even have my return flight back. So when I disembark the ship in Germany, I'm hopefully going to travel a little, that's the goal, but then I start an internship back home, which I'm very excited for. But we'll see what happens. I hope to explore for a week and then head back home. But I don't want to think about that right now. Also, something I would like to do in my episodes is just have like a gratitude portion segment, probably towards the end is what I'm thinking. Because I found this, practicing gratitude or having gratitude, maybe that's the right way to say it, is very, very important. And appreciating things, very important, especially if life is going very, very fast. And I know for sure that that will be the case for this semester at sea experience when I embark the ship. And actually pre-embarkation, life has been going very, very fast. That's another story. So I'm thinking 3 things we're grateful for, or I'm grateful for. 3 for the voyage number 133, because I'm feeling the 3s. First, I am grateful for Okay, first I have to say I'm grateful for my room service that's about to come. There's a doorbell. You have a doorbell pretty much. You hear it in your room and then open the door, then they wheel in the food. It is so fancy. I've never experienced this in my life, but it is very cool. And the food, for breakfast I had freshly squeezed orange juice, scrambled eggs, 4 different pastries. What else? 3 different jams. I mean, I'm really being treated like a king right now, a queen in my king bed. I cannot complain. Very, very thankful. So, yes, that's number 1. Very grateful, let's say, for the room service and just this hotel in general. Number 2, grateful for my safe arrival to Bangkok, Thailand, and for nothing going wrong that I know of. Third thing I'm grateful for, all my podcasting equipment, because I'm very excited to start this podcast. It's something I've been kind of thinking of planning for a while, pondering the idea of making a podcast. I like listening to them, as I said. So producing one has been very cool, and I'm very excited to see where it goes, how it turns out, how I execute it. So very thankful for all my materials, my laptops, mics, all of that. Gear-wise, it's cool to learn as well. Yes, that's what I'm grateful for. So I ask you, what are you grateful for? Give me 3 things. You can pause the video and unpause whenever you would like. If you made it this far, thanks for tuning in, and hope you're curious and hearing more, learning more about how my adventure goes. Until next time, sincerely, Sof.